Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have a sharp game to share with you from round 4 of the 2025 Sinquefield Cup. This was played on August 21st. On the white end, Nodirbek Abdusattorov playing against Fabiano Caruana. Alright, only a 30 mover. We end up in a race position, case of opposite sides castles in this one. Opening wise, we have a Queen's Gambit declined exchange variation. Knight pin, immediately broken. Flight square with tempo. And from here we have Bishop G4. Most popular in this position is castles. Right, in this one, Bishop G4 with the tempo. And the reply, Queen C2. Now, a move I tested out here, given B7 is now unprotected. What's going on in the case of Queen B3? Pressure on these 2 points here. The top reaction to Queen B3 would be to connect knights and be prepared to play it as a gambit if white goes for the B7 pawn. This point, do know, is secure because of knight takes, and the tension here has to resolve. Bishop takes bishop. The knight can always recapture, black's up a piece. What's happening in the case of queen takes B7, rook B8. And queen takes A, queen A6, rook takes B2. In lines like this, where the B pawn falls, the C3 knight can definitely be a problem. Black has a healthy lead in development and a very active rook. In the case of queen C6 in this position, it's looking forward to just getting out of this pin and playing down the pawn, but with a healthy lead in development. This is not what white shoots for. We do not see queen B3, queen C2 instead. Castles, bishop questioned, and from here it falls back to E6. You do have to be careful where exactly you go with the bishop. If you back up to H5, there is a line that white could go for that wins a pawn. Initially, I was thinking in response to this, okay, if bishop D3 is there, now there's G4 as an idea, and you're ready to take twice one day on G6, win a pawn in that fashion. But there is also something even more direct if black responded to H3 with bishop H5, and that is this capture on F6. With the follow-up, queen F5, and now there is this double attack. The D5 pawn will be won shortly. Bishop G6, there you go. All right, we do not have bishop H5. It is bishop E6, knight F3, retreat. Once this dark square bishop exchange, looking forward to the D6 square for the knight. No capture. Bishop G3, bishop D6, insisting on the trade. And rather than initiate the exchange and invite the knight to this excellent square, white is willing to take on a case of double G pawns, and that's what we have in this one. Get some more development in, knight D7, expanding. Now, a big moment. White's decision now goes for queenside castles. A race position ahead. Computer doesn't see this as best. It says go ahead and bring it to a same sides castles game. It is nice to have this half open file for the rook. And maybe there is still this idea to be disruptive towards black's kingside. So I put on a couple moves from here. It's looking at knight D6 and queen F2, possible G5 break, these sort of ideas. You do have some pieces playing on the king side here. But Nodirbek says, let's bring on an opposite sides castles game. So king, in almost all cases in these opposite sides castles games, will be time. So tempi, extremely important. We have rook C8, G5, no reaction just yet. The file is opened up. Pawn recapturing, and from here we now have the capture on G5. So at the top, drawing some attention to this time detail. This is one of the moves the computer wants to run with already. It says, don't even take any time out to capture on G5. Carry on with play on the queen side. Play B5. Look forward to B4. So pawn takes, there's B4. What would be happening in the case of bishop captures pawn? Well, this move. The knight gets to develop with tempo. Bishop backs off, and only at this stage does it want to now recapture on G5. Here's a move I tested out from this position. If white addresses this threat by capturing the knight, you can recapture with the bishop without fear of pawn captures pawn. This would be a winning position for black. This light square bishop will be a nightmare for white. Look at these pieces here. This king is not going to feel comfortable. Okay, we do not end up seeing B5 just yet. It is first the capture on G5. Pop quiz, how would you continue here? Can you spot Nodirbek's next move? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, I really like this next move. It is top. We don't see H4. This general idea is correct, but the timing for it is not quite right. If you play H4 trying to open up this file, that can be met with G4, and the H file remains shut. So Nodirbek says, you know what, let me first fix this pawn, and only then will I play H4. You no longer have G4 in response to keep the H file shut. This is a very delicate position. You must be super accurate here. Nearby, H4, the opening up of the file, and don't forget about this post for the queen and a battery into H8 or H7 for mate. Okay, let's see what Caruana comes up with here. He plays G6. Nodirbek captures on G6. Now, Caruana clearly saw that this was a possibility. He's looking forward to development with the queen to F6 with tempo. Rather than this capture on G6, computer points out, take some time to safeguard your king. And with these two still on this open C file, wants to play king B1 here. All right, we have the capture on G6, queen F6 now with tempo, bishop check, king G7, rook DF1, and from here we now have B5. So before playing B5, you have to make sure you're not going to get killed with any knight move. We don't see a knight move here. The response to B5 is H4. If you go with the knight move, knight E5 is the first one that comes to mind. This really does not go anywhere. In response to a knight E5 move, there's queen E7, and there are no accidents happening on F7. Black has a good response to any tricks on this square. So this can be an idea in some cases. I'll just put on one of these two. Let's go with rook captures F7 in this position. The way to recapture would be with the bishop. If you take with the rook in this position, you get mated in two. Queen G6, pick your favorite square. Queen G8, mate. But you could take with the bishop in this position, covering this square, preventing the queen entry. And similarly, if white takes with the knight, you would take with the queen, preventing the queen entry. Yet again, taking with the rook, that same mate in two would be there. My point, this move right here, knight E5, leads nowhere. We have instead H4. Follow up, B4, take on G5, queen F4 check, getting the move back, pawn takes knight, big moment right here, final pop quiz. How would you continue here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, Nodirbek spent about 22 minutes at this moment, ended up not finding the way. He ended up playing bishop F5. Now, the only move that keeps white in the game, keeps this level, is knight h4. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to touch on two lines from this point here. Queen captures g5 and queen d2. Let's test out queen d2 first. In the case of queen d2, it wants to go with a knight check. Bishop captures. Bishop captures. There's a problem on this diagonal, and this position here, even though you are down a piece as white, you do have some serious threats. Black would still have to get out of this situation, the pinned knight, unprotected knight. Let's say you go with the check, king hides in the corner, now what? If you save the knight, you are lost. So knight b6 in this position, this is going to lead to mate shortly. There's no way out of this situation. You have about, what's this, 14 points attacking your king. f6, g6, next up, stack the rooks on 7 and 8. And it's going to be mate. So white would be winning the piece back, is my point, with a position like this, given the quick doubling on the h-file. There are these mating IDs even without the queens. Let's touch on the other path at this point here. So rather than meeting knight h4 with queen d2, what's happening if queen captures pawn? Well, the idea would yet again to be to drop into f5 with check. And this knight must go. Have to capture it. If you don't, let's say you move the king, there would be this cute continuation. Bishop g8, discovered check. King captures bishop, and then knight e7, check. Clearance. A clearance for queen h7, mate. Okay. Knight on f5 would have to go. Bishop captures knight would be the way. And initially, I thought with this line, okay, this is the idea. The pawn's going to take, and then there's going to be something happening on the g file. Not quite. The correct continuation is with bishop captures bishop here. If you take with the pawn, computer says you could put either knight on f6 and prepare to meet a rook move to g1 by going into a pin, or play the very top move, the evil computer here pointing out, be bold, blockade here with the king on f6, and there's not a way to get at the king, apparently. Okay. Bishop captures bishop in this position is the drawing idea, and note something that is significantly different about this continuation rather than what we see in the game. The bishop on f5 is targeting a piece that is unprotected. It carries a much greater threat. White's looking to swipe the knight, and next sweep into h7. Okay. From here, it's pointing out the top line is to just give the piece back. Knight e to f6, bishop captures knight. No knight captures bishop because of the mate. It's pointing out a rook b8 move, calls this level. Okay, got some sharp stuff going on here, clearly. How it is played out in this game, no knight h4. Bishop f5 does carry a threat. You're ready to take a protected piece, in this case, however, and then sweep in to h7. That is not a strong enough threat, as it turns out. Caruana now has time to defend. He plays rook h8. We see a rook exchange, a bishop exchange. This looks scary. Follow up rook h1 check, king g7. Rook h7 check is played next. If the queen sweeps in, the king is going to be able to slip away. So check here, king there, another check. The king bobs and weaves along these dark squares. It goes nowhere. These knights are very good defenders. Also, there's a threat nearby for black. If white does not keep up with these forceful moves, these checking moves, c2 check, c1 check, and soon mate. So we don't see queen h7. The try here is with rook h7 check. Careful where you go with the king. In the game king f8, if king g8, you're asking for queen g6. Check, king move, queen check. That's big trouble. That's winning continuation for white. King f8. Don't allow the queen to enter with check, and everything is cool. There's no attack here for white. Follow-up is with g6. If you move the knight instead, it's big trouble, so moving forward, testing this one out, we would have a queen check. Queen blocks, c2 check, king in the corner, queen takes, queen mate. So the knight cannot enter this attack. What we have is g6, and after knight d to f6, move 30, white resigns. Caruana did not, I should point out, he did not take the knight in this position because there would be this fork on f7. Knight d to f6 is simple enough. There's no attack with these connected knights. Rook is hit. If this carried out with the check, black just hits back, a counterpunch. If there's a check on f7, king g8, now what? There's still this problem. This is ready to fall. There's no attack at this stage. A successful defense here by Caruana with one key misstep at this critical moment right here for Nodirbek. Needed to find knight to h4. Anyhow, what are your thoughts with this one? Feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.